I saw this from City Beautiful right before I started streaming, and I just wanted to experience it with you guys. Why is Beverly Hills so rich and famous? Well, I have some ideas.
Beverly Hills. Its
Woo! That's the song. Get it?
name and zip code 90210 are synonymous with wealth and status, a place for the rich and famous. The houses of Beverly Hills are something else. A third of the top 15 largest homes in the LA area are within this city. Many of
Which of these houses mine? All of them. All the houses that you see are mine. People can own multiple houses. It's 2023.
which are also some of the largest homes in the entire US. Some of these mansions are almost 50,000 square feet in size. Most people's understanding of Beverly Hills comes through the filter of pop culture, and the stereotype that everyone who lives there is a rich movie star. But how much of that is actually true? I mean, yes, this is Rodeo Drive, famous for its luxury boutiques, but this is also Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. This street would fit in just about any upper middle class neighborhood in Southern California. The point is, Beverly Hills is more complicated than you probably thought, and planning for a city full of gated homes is also complicated. Let's take a tour of Beverly Hills after the bike bell. Before we answer any of those
How much are those houses? Basically, the small houses in Beverly Hills are like 2 to 3 million.
questions, let's lay down some facts and history about Beverly Hills, as it's a place most of us know only through pop culture. But it is a real place, an incorporated city located here, bordered to the north by the Santa Monica Mountains.
Okay, this is our like little geographic study. Okay, okay. Do you see this road right here? It's this diagonal road that goes from bottom left to top right that cuts through this portion of Beverly Hills. Do you see this? Do you see what I'm describing right now? Everything north of that road is where all the disgustingly rich people live, and everything south of that road is either rich people, not disgustingly rich, but rich people, or like middle class people. That's like the divide. That one road right there, Santa Monica Boulevard, that's the divide.
And completely surrounded by the city of Los Angeles. For being such a well-known city, it only has a population of around 32,000, but the residents that it does have are incredibly well-connected and influential. It's also not the only wealthy enclave in the area.
Many famous YouTubers from this place. Where were you? I was on the south side of the line. All right, I was in the hood. I was in the Beverly Hood, okay? With my brothers, like Will Smith over here.
Bel Air, Holmby Hills, and plenty of other attractive neighborhoods are all close by. So how then did Beverly Hills get so famous and wealthy? It's all in the history. The first European settlers here were the Spanish, who set up an agricultural community here in the 1830s. El Rodeo de las Aguas, as it was known, focused on livestock agriculture, and lima bean farms were planted starting in the 1880s.
Lima bean farms.
But this agricultural lifestyle quickly changed in the 1900s when real estate developers set their eyes on ranch land and purchased farms with the hopes of finding oil. When this proved unsuccessful, the Rodeo Land and Water Company purchased the property and planned for a new community.
There are actually oil wells all over Los Angeles still. Some of them even still run, and they built these big, like, ornate towers to cover up the oil pumps because they're pretty unattractive. Beverly Hills High School had one before they tore it down. They, the like graduating class a couple years before mine covered it all up in this big like painted mural of flowers that I always thought looked quite nice. It overlooked the field, well, the fields, baseball and football. But then they tore it down. That was the old one. Then they redid it in teal. I thought this was the one I saw most of the time. I thought that looked nice. Then they took it down. They take down the whole thing or just the facade? Oh, yeah, they plugged the pump. Yep, got rid of it. Ah, well.
As was common practice in the US at the time, the developers used restrictive covenants that excluded people of color and Jewish people. Now, because this
as the people who excluded Jewish people from Beverly Hills rolling in their graves, the demographic makeup of the neighborhood today.
Practice was so widespread, this isn't the only reason why Beverly Hills is known for being so wealthy and white. Last year, I did a video on Compton, another Southern California city that had racial
another white
covenants
wealthy
and
neighborhood.
Eventually became synonymous with being a community of black residents. There are a couple things that might have tipped the scales for Beverly Hills in the other direction. First, the literal hills that provided great views of the surrounding area and the Pacific Ocean. It was desirable real estate.
That's only north of the road. All this crap, all this hill crap, that's all north of Santa Monica Boulevard. Everything south of it is flatland.
This attracted early stars of nearby Hollywood. The construction of a mansion for Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford, popular actors and producers in the film industry, gave Beverly Hills some cachet. More celebrities and movie stars began building mansions here, and the rest is history. Beverly Hills' image as a place for the wealthy and famous continued to attract the, well, wealthy and famous. But in the 1920s, the city saw its first major challenge. With so many actors and celebrities moving from around the country to Beverly Hills, the city's water supply began to dry up.
Oh no.
Those lawns don't water themselves.
And thankfully, it's a problem they solved, and it is no longer a problem today, smiley face.
The proposed remedy for the situation was for the city of Los Angeles to annex Beverly Hills. LA had been draining the Owens Valley of its water for years by this point, securing the water it needed to grow into a global metropolis. Another subdivision wouldn't make a dent in the city's overall water demand. But this proposal was not what Beverly Hills residents had in mind for the future of their city. They believed themselves to have a separate identity from the rest of LA, and they wanted to stay intact. Celebrity intervention into local politics proved wildly successful for their case. Huge actors at the time, as well as the Beverly Hills Utility Commission, publicly opposed the annexation and managed to squash the proposal in a special election. 30 years later, Beverly Hills actually grew by annexing an incredibly wealthy subdivision next door, Troutdale Estates. Celebrities like Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and many more have called Troutdale Estates their home since its development and annexation. While I mentioned before that the racial covenants of Beverly Hills wasn't enough to guarantee that it would be a whites-only community, it did do the trick pretty well. Starting in the 1940s and 1950s, black celebrities who couldn't buy in Beverly Hills moved to View Park, which became known as the Black Beverly Hills.
I've been there. My dad did independent work for VFX stuff for some of the people in View Park, so I'd go over sometimes, and it was pretty cool. I mean, they're still wealthy, even if they're not white, so, you know, it's not actually that cool, but it's pretty cool.
Today, View Park is the largest, wealthiest, and most architecturally distinct black neighborhood in the entire United States, though still not as wealthy as the original Beverly Hills. There has been a non-white group that has managed to settle in Beverly Hills, and today makes up about 25% of the population.
Oh, yeah.
They are immigrants from Iran, particularly the Persian Jews. Beverly Hills even had an Iranian-American mayor. This influx of immigrants hasn't been without conflict, but it's a very Beverly Hills kind of conflict. Longtime locals dislike...
Okay. So all these, like, the Iranian Jews who are wealthy enough to flee Iran after the revolution, the Shah was overthrown, the Ayatollah was put forward, they were like, okay, we are now in... Okay, I swear to God, there were more fucking... I grew up with more Persian Jews than fucking fellow white, like, European people. So I want to do their voice so badly, but I can't. Like, they came over here, and they were like, okay, we are now going to build our glorious Persian palaces. Behold. And they built these fucking ugly-ass, goddamn, pillar houses on regular plots of land. Oh my fucking God. Look at this. That's why they call themselves Persian, by the way, because they're trying to reclaim an Iranian identity outside of, like, Iran itself. I've seen this house like a trillion times at this point. You've seen this house a trillion times. It was on my walk to school. I saw this house a trillion times. Beverly Hills is pretty small, you know. I know what the houses in it look like.
Like the architecture of the homes the Persian community has built there. They're referred to as Persian palaces. Typically, a Persian family will buy a normal-sized home,
I know this house,
tear it down, and build a new house that maximizes interior space. This results in a home some feel is out of scale with the rest of the neighborhood. This architectural style usually consists of large columns, double-high entry spaces, and a general quasi-classical vibe.
The main clash is that most of the houses in Los Angeles are done in that, like, Spanish, you know, Adobe, like, mission kind of style. You know what I mean? With like those curved reddish brick tiles on the roof and like the mesa aesthetic, yeah, that kind of thing. So then these houses clashed severely with the aesthetic of the neighborhood. I mostly don't like them because they're tacky, but I also don't like the Spanish style houses, so whatever.
Some call them gaudy, but they have become a part of the landscape of Beverly Hills. So the city of Beverly Hills does have some diversity, and the diversity extends to income. Sort of. The whole city isn't incredibly wealthy. There's a dividing line between the north and south parts of the
He knows. He knows.
city, where the richest residents live north of Santa Monica Boulevard, and the less rich live to the south. A quick look on Zillow shows that you can buy a house for only $2 or $3 million south of Santa Monica Boulevard.
That's the number I said too. Oh my God. Still repping my neighborhood.
While houses to the north are almost all 8 figures. This divide means that Beverly Hills actually holds the record for the highest income inequality of all cities in California. The top 20% of households account for 62.5% of the total income of the city, with an average yearly salary of $661,000.
Cool.
The bottom 20% only makes up 1.6 of the total earnings and makes an average of $14,500 yearly. Those with lower incomes can't always afford to shop at the generally fancier grocery stores in the city and often need to go elsewhere for everyday items like groceries. So in Beverly Hills, the middle class residents would be considered very high income residents anywhere else. When you have a population like this that's so wealthy and influential, what can a city like Beverly Hills do that other cities can't? Well, they can be sure to avoid getting
This Wilshire Boulevard, I don't even know what the fuck this is. Restaurants? I don't know. I walk by it a million times. I don't care. But, like, it always looked really weird to me because if you can look right here, the bottom floor of this building looks really nice with this, like, ornate mason work right here. And then on top of it, they just were like, okay, we're just going to, like, slap some bricks and stucco in, like, a rough rectangle and, like, we're good to go. We're going to have an ugly, like, front of the facade fire escape on top of this, like, Parisian, elegant, like, it's very, very weird. I don't know why they did that. The city was expanding, I assume. I don't know.
cut in two by LA's massive highway network. Let's look at the map. While the rest of Los
Tell me
Angeles
about
is
the
full of elevated
405.
concrete monoliths of highways, Beverly Hills only has California State Route 2 running through it, and it runs at grade as Santa Monica Boulevard. Originally, a Beverly Hills freeway was planned to connect the 101 and 405 freeways, and that would have run...
That's Town Hall right there. Town Hall, which is right next to Rodeo Drive. I've always thought that the cap at the top of Town Hall, which you can't see that well here, is really pretty. It almost looks like a mosque to me. I know there are other things that look like this, but it just reminds me of some of those, like, really nice-looking, like, Turkish mosques or whatever, with all the fancy tile work and mosaic work and stuff. It's all over the building, too. The whole building has this really interesting, like, extremely... I don't know. I don't know enough about architecture to really, like, get a point to it. There's, like, a specific vibe. Yeah, this is the square at the back that's used sometimes for events. See, it has, like... You can see what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's clearly distinct. It's also connected... Yeah, Byzantine vibe. It's connected to the library, the police department, the fire department. Because Beverly Hill's pretty small, so, you know, they're all centralized in a big building. They also used to have these big cubes that were just kind of rooted in the ground in the back. I don't know if they exist anymore or if I hallucinated them, but I swear I remember a good portion of my childhood. You could go into the back of the town hall, right, like to the, like, further back from where the camera's in this photo, like further back there. And there's and there were cubes, just big stone cubes, like 6 to 10 feet across, that were just embedded into the dirt that you could sit on. But I can't find any, like in Minecraft. Yes, like in Minecraft. I just don't see Google giving me what I need, though. Yeah, sorry. Beverly Hills stone cubes. Library? No. Town hall? Well, into the memory hole they go, I guess. Look up the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba. It's a direct inspiration. Is it? Ah, yeah, I can see it. Though this is quite a bit more majestic. Okay, let's move on.
Run underground in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills, but the wealthy residents of Beverly Hills had enough political power to stop even an underground highway through their city. There are no future plans to build this highway either. Water was a big...
Oh yeah, there was an effort to build an underground subway that would connect vital parts of the city, but it would run through Beverly Hills. And Beverly Hills hates the idea of poor people being able to travel underneath the city so much they've been blocking it for years, up to and including, like, proposing a path that would run directly under Beverly Hills High School so they could use the children as an excuse. Like, here's a path under the high school. Whoa, you can't do that under the high school. There are children there. Like that.
Big issue for Beverly Hills in the 1920s, and it's still a big issue in the 2020s. How does a city with 2,481 swimming pools conserve water in a state that is seemingly either always in a drought or about to be in one? Particularly since the 2012 to 2016 drought in California, counties and cities have been given strict water consumption targets they must meet or face the risk of fines from the state. In general, most of the state has dramatically lowered their per capita water use by installing more
The fact that it's still legal to have grass lawns in California, in SoCal, is insane to me. If you have a grass lawn and you go outside with if you have a sprinkler system, like drones should just deploy from the local police department to firebomb your house. The fact that it's legal is insane, but they won't change it because having clean grass lawns is just a part of being a wealthy American.
More efficient water fixtures, planting native lawns, and being more thoughtful about water use generally. But of course, not all communities want to follow these water cuts. In 2015, it was found that the residents of Beverly Hills and other wealthy areas of LA tended to have larger houses with highly landscaped lawns and pools.
Really?
And were using 151 to 281 gallons of water per person per day, while the state average was only 72.6 gallons per person per day. While many communities in the state had to reduce their water use by 10%, Beverly Hills residents used so much that they were told to cut their water consumption by 35%. A year later, in 2016, when the state checked back in, residents had not met any of their goals for water consumption decreases, and it took heavy fines from the State Water Resources Control Board to rein in many properties' water use. Now, it's probably not surprising that some of the world's wealthiest, most influential people will be willing to flaunt water restrictions. I get the sense that for many residents of Beverly Hills, they consider their gated home to be their own private castle.
Yep.
They feel free to do whatever they want within their walls.
Literally, look at what my fucking camera's blocking. Look at that. They're fortresses. Driving around the hills part of Beverly Hills is like you feel like an enemy commander sizing up the fucking fortifications you're going to be dying in front of the next day. They're all gated. They're not gated, they're walled. Those sidewalks suck ass. How do you get around? Nobody walks in this part of Beverly Hills. Literally nobody. Everybody drives.
Walls. This is also what makes Beverly Hills different than most communities. So many gates and walls. This is a city where residents are extremely concerned about privacy, and it makes sense that the gates would be necessary. But when you drive around, it feels very uninviting. Almost all road space is catered towards private vehicles exclusively, and a lot of areas have no space for pedestrians to walk at all. Extra tall hedges protect outsiders from spying on individual properties, and gated houses in their communities are the norm. Individual properties are, for all intents and purposes, their own little islands. This focus on their own personal castles has unsurprisingly made many Beverly Hills residents opposed to affordable housing within the city's boundaries. The state of California requires all cities to plan for an allotted amount of new affordable housing. Beverly Hills has not done its fair share. The state of California rejected Beverly Hills' housing plan, and the city is being sued by the nonprofit Californians for Home Ownership. Both the state and the lawsuit point to the city's assumption that many properties that are currently health clinics, religious community centers, and theaters could be completely redeveloped to become apartment buildings. That's just not going to happen. It's not hard to believe that Beverly Hills is a difficult place to build housing. Essentially, all of its land is already developed, and land that isn't dedicated to buildings is dedicated to expensive lawns. The people who own these houses are unlikely to build ADUs or demolish their house and replace it with apartments.
Did these people vote Republican or Democrat? Republican. Beverly Hills was one of the few districts of Los Angeles that voted Republican on average.
And the city doesn't seem to want to do much to change that. The city even managed to decrease its population count by several thousand people in recent years. So no surprise, Beverly Hills is an exclusive enclave. And when you have an exclusive enclave...
Look, you can literally see the Santa Monica divide. Look at that. Remember what I said about all the big expensive houses being north of it? That's Santa Monica, and the green, the lawns, are to the left, north. See? Look at how everything on the right side looks like standard, like, urban sprawl. And on the left, you see curvier hills, larger plots, and much, much more lawn. That's how significant the divide is. I could probably even... Yep, there's Town Hall, right there. Town Hall is right here. And I remember when growing up, you know, you walk by Town Hall on the way to the high school, which is right here at the bottom. That's the high school. When getting over there, nobody walks to the other side of Santa Monica. The only reason you would ever walk to the other side of Santa Monica is because sometimes they have an art fair there, like twice a year, and the big Welcome to Beverly Hills sign is right here at this intersection. So that's the one you've seen online. But nobody crosses this line to walk because this is all like blight. This is all like there's nothing, there is no commercial district, there's nothing to stop at, there's nothing to buy or see. It's just gigantic palaces carved into the winding, overly wide roads. What's the big green part on the bottom left? That is a golf course. Self-Hero Cumsock. Excellent question. At least I remember that is. Let me write my orientation so I'm looking at North Top. That's the Beverly Hills High School. 2 roads over, you go right there. Yeah, that's the golf. Yeah, that's the golf course. Yeah, that's the golf course, and that's Wilshire Boulevard right there that cuts through it. And then you go down this way, and my mom used to work in one of these buildings, and my brother used to work at one of those hotels as the chef. If you go down further that way, and then and further that way by a little more, it's just barely cut off by the camera edge here, but you would find UCLA and the UCLA Village. Yes.
If you have residents who feel comfortable flaunting water restrictions.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. There we go. That's it. That's the UCLA Village right here. This big blob of white right down here. And then right a little bit past it, see this gray line that's right underneath chat? That is the 405. And this right here, this chunk of the 405 is what is the part of the 405 that was on fire when I drove through it that one time, because the California wildfires had gone all the way down to this side of the road and it had jumped due to heavy winds to the other side. So we drove through like a big like arch of fire when we went through it that one time. And then a little further up, you have the Getty Center, which is beautiful, by the way. Yeah.
New affordable housing. The world beyond the walls of your house just doesn't matter as much as what's inside. And the residents of Beverly Hills have another invisible wall, their city limits. While places like
Oh, also, if you want really good shaved ice, okay, you want to cross the 405 under, and you want to go to Sawtell on like Olympic. So it's like right down here near where the time code is. And there's really good like fucking shaved ice and sushi down there. Hell yeah.
The world beyond the walls of your house just doesn't matter as much as what's inside. And the residents of Beverly Hills have another invisible wall, their city limits. While places like Bel Air have to abide by the laws of the city of Los Angeles, Beverly Hills can draft laws that cater exclusively to its own interests. Beverly Hills is an island full of little house-sized islands. So I'm obviously back from Beverly Hills and back in the studio, and after some time reflecting on my experience in Beverly Hills, I have some thoughts as someone who visited only briefly and is definitely just an outsider. I found downtown Beverly Hills to be surprisingly dense and bustling.
Downtown Beverly Hills means Rodeo Drive. This is shaved ice. It's really good. It's basically just like a snow cone, but a little bit more elaborate. It tastes better. It's a little bit fancier. It's like a nicer snow cone, basically.
But it was a place absolutely choked with cars. It also seemed like a place people wanted to be seen with their fancy cars.
Also, guys, do not ever shop in Rodeo Drive unless you're actually rich, okay? Your experience in Rodeo Drive will otherwise be summed up as seeing something cute through the window, going in, seeing a 4-digit price tag, and then bulking and leaving. Actually, 4-digit might be generous. A couple of these places, you can easily find 5-digit dresses and suits.
But it'd be so much better if a place like Rodeo Drive was completely car-free. This little section of downtown was car-free, and it was totally the best part. I'm not gonna lie and say that.
Yeah, this is the walk.
This
is the walk right here. They set up a Christmas tree here every Christmas. We would used to take our family photo right there.
Little section of downtown was car-free, and it was totally the best part. I'm not gonna lie and say that it wouldn't be cool to live in some of the houses I saw, but the lack of consistent sidewalks and bike lanes was definitely a weakness for me.
Bike lanes in Beverly Hills? What do you mean? The bike lanes are incredibly consistent in Beverly Hills. There are zero. You'll not find such consistency anywhere else. There are none.
Again, it felt like a place where cars are status symbols. There isn't much demand for alternative modes, and that's just not my jam. Even though Beverly Hills might not be for me, maybe it's for you.
No, it wasn't. I'm happy I'm in Seattle now. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for donating, watching, subscribing, watching ads. You allow me to live in Seattle and not in Beverly Hills, where I would otherwise live. Thank you.
And there's definitely a special allure to Beverly Hills that I do understand. Now, you obviously have to be pretty wealthy to move to Beverly Hills, and one of the best ways to jump social class...
Is it very alienating, Beverly Hills? Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, there's not really... Okay, I know this is the case all over America, but there's not like any place to meet people that isn't an obscenely expensive shopping mall, is the main thing. I know it's like that in lots of America, but in Beverly Hills, there's this very unique mix of all the money in the world and no taste. Like in most of America, I feel like the lack of public social spaces is a product of money being hollowed out from the public forum. But in this case, it's not true. There's an enormous amount of money in Beverly Hills. It's evident everywhere. Every street, road, the maintenance of the roads, how things are kept smooth and clean. There's a huge amount of money there, and all of it is spent on the opposite of the good things. It's spent on the worst possible things. horrible taste, no culture. It's a dead city with an incredible wealth. It's a tomb made of gold. It's insane. I would rather live in an area where there was nothing to do because there was no money with which to do it than an area where you would go outside and watch people flaunt their money being spent on the wrong things. Not to say there weren't benefits to growing up in Beverly Hills. Incredibly safe neighborhood, good schooling, lots of good stuff like that. But in terms of the culture of the area, in terms of like being able to go outside and feel like a human connected to other humans, in that respect, I would say that Beverly Hills is inferior to probably where you guys grew up. Though I'm very glad that I grew up there just for the opportunities that it afforded me. Was it a place where kids could walk to school? Yeah, for sure. Though I hear crimes are going up there lately, probably for the same reason that crime's been going up in most areas with huge income inequality, which is it's not physically possible to survive with the current cost of living, so people are just like breaking into Lamborghinis and stealing shit. And I just don't care. If there was ever a group of people who I care less about being robbed than Walgreens, it would be the kinds of people who drive sports cars around Beverly Hills. I don't care. I spent my entire first 20 years of my life walking in the exhaust fumes of their pipes, and I don't care. I'm a city person, Logical Pretzels.
Masses is by getting a great education. And you can get a great education right now online. Maybe you want to brush up on your math.
Oh, it's the ad bit, I see. Hey, everyone, City Beautiful makes wonderful videos. I don't normally go over stuff like this, in the capacity that I have here, but I wanted to see the video on stream. Check out City Beautiful. Really great. I really like Urbanist channels. I love City Beautiful. I love Not Just Bikes, who is, of course, a friend of the channel. I love Alan Fisher. Please go sub if you haven't. Lots of really great stuff on this channel, though I haven't been on a City Beautiful kick in a little while, so there are a lot of videos that I've missed. I need to go back and take a look. Why are college towns so great? Why did humans invent cities? How did Paris become a global powerhouse? I destroyed a European city. Look at that. He destroyed a European city, He did bomb Dresden or something. I don't know. I think that Not Just Bikes hits a very strong and positive tone with his videos, side shot. He comes across as imperative, but in a way that I find compelling. Have you actually talked to Not Just Bikes on stream? No, I haven't. Though I like him very much, and I like his content very much. He pops in chat sometimes, and it's always a delight to see him. No. None of this guilt by association crap. It's fine. I like Not Just Bikes quite a lot. Little baby. What do you think of Adam Something? I love Adam Something. Adam Something's a friend of the channel, a proper friend of the channel. Yeah, he's been on. No, I love Adam Something. Yeah. Adam Something makes great videos. Yeah, he's a banger factory. Yeah, you can, just look at how many of his videos I've watched. There are very few YouTubers these days that I have the time to watch, this many of their videos. I gotta watch more. I want to learn about John Cena being Chinese or something.